Greetings. Last episode, Martin and Rorick's investigations bore fruit. They talked to an ornery opium den proprietor called Sasak, a mean-spirited cobrat alchemist. And Sasak told them that Lord Zachary had indeed been to his establishment several times, but each time he was there gathering or trying to sober up his friend and associate, the dock worker, Tiny. They learned where Tiny worked, found him. Tiny ran, but Rorick chased him down. And the group dragged Tiny then back to their room at the watchtower and interrogated him. In doing so, they learned that yes, Tiny and Lord Zachary had been friends for some time. They had often gambled and drank together in the inns of the South Side and Underwood. And yes, Tiny was a frequent user of Sasak's services. And that he was with Lord Zachary when he was abducted, though he was in no position to intervene, being very, very drunk and or high. And he thinks that they took Zachary to a place called the Shack, which is a small camp on one of the islands in the lake nearby Salem, Lake Sendel. And that he was abducted by a particularly nasty group of dock workers who were called the press gangers, and that they captured folks and then sold them to unscrupulous raft captains who then took them downriver to then be sold off to the various slavers such as the pirate lords, the cobrat, and maybe even savage goblins. Zachary's girlfriend Tessa was appalled at this, partly because, well, presumably Tiny has known about the abduction of Lord Zachary for a couple days and kept quiet, and B, that she had been abducted herself at one point and managed to escape. The good news of that was that she knew where the shack was, and so she was going to be able to lead them there, but was uncertain she could do it in the dark, and so they decided to wait till next light to get a raft or a rowboat, head out there, grab Lord Zachary, and escape with him. While they're making this plan, there is a frantic knock at the door of the inn. They get ready because, of course, I think they assume the worst. So everybody's weapons are drawn. Tiny breaks off like a table leg or something as a makeshift cudgel. Martin goes to open the door. And a very, very agitated Lady Laurel strides in with her manservant in tow. She paces the room back and forth. Lady Laurel, well, good to see you. We were going to come and get to you soon, hopefully with good news. She's like, I have terrible news. And she pulls out a letter and hands it to Martin. It's a ransom letter. So now whoever's done this is not only enough to take my son, but now they're asking for a ridiculous amount of money. And indeed, the ransom is So she has a day to essentially come up with 10,000 silver pennies. And that she is to leave that. Let's see, where would she leave it? I think they're gonna have her leave it at a specific dock, or yeah, probably at like a specific warehouse. Lady Laurel is upset because she says, "Well, this is too much. Even I mean, for me, this is our entire. This is easily a year or more of our entire operating budget. I'd have to sell the vineyard to make this money. And if I pay, even if I didn't, I would be then bankrupted. I would not have enough to run the vineyard. So I have to sell. I'd have to. There. If I want to see my son again, I'm going to have to sell." Martin calms her down, right? Sits her down in the chair maybe that he was in. He's like, "Lady, we do have good news in that we think we know where your boy is, and we think we can get him." Oh, that's wonderful news. Well, what are you doing here? Right? So she's impatient. He's like, "Well, we believe that he's on an island in the lake, and none of us are expert navigators, and so we were hoping to go at first light." But now I have bad news. And everybody like looks up because they didn't expect this bad news. But Martin says it with like the panache of an old noir detective, right? Or an Agatha Christie, right? A Poirot ending. Um, it's almost certain that whoever left you that ransom note, or whoever sent you that note, was also watching you and knows you came here. It's almost certain that somebody somewhere saw us abscond with Tiny, and she points to Tiny on the dock. Now, hopefully, those aren't the same person, but as soon as they become the same person, then we're going to be in trouble because they'll know we know where they are and that we're working for you, and likely the jig will be up. So we need to move now, Martin says, regardless of daylight or not, to keep any advantage that we think we have. And if not, then if we wait, then it's very likely that they'll have either a ton of guards or they'll have moved him. And so the group agrees, and they immediately start getting their crap together to go. Lady Laurel, I need you. I assume you're being followed, so I need you. I need you to draw them off. I need you to leave, go to maybe another inn, maybe all the inns in town. Perhaps you're desperately looking for news of your boy. in the middle of the night. Yeah. Yes, you. Yes, that does odd. Still, I'm not even sure you need to even speak to the proprietors as much as just make the stop. Knock on the door. Make something up. Tell them that ask around for Zachary. The worst they can do is send you off. They're not going to. They're not certainly not going to call the constabulary on you, a lady of your standing, and that'll buy us some time, maybe. In the meantime, we need to be off. So she agrees and she leaves. And at some point, her carriage, which by the way is horse drawn, so she actually has, right? She has a little bit of carriage. Like a horse drawn carriage is not, that's not common. The vineyard had 1 or 2 good years. And she leaves. And I think Martin and Rorik look at each other. And he's like, 10,000 pennies. And Martin's like, yeah. Welcome to episode 13. We really need to start charging more. So the group, I think they're going to, once she is gone, they're going to do a quick look out the windows and maybe head down to the common room and check around. And let's let Rorik use his perception track and see if they think they are being watched or followed here. So let's roll a little bit of track. That's a -3. So they're not going to know. So I'm going to roll a d12. And I'm going to say that it is unlikely at the moment that they are being followed, but let's do a d12 roll just in case. Let's say low is bad, so maybe 1 through 3, 1 through 4, 3. So they were being followed. So that's interesting. So, okay, and Rorik doesn't see them, it seems. So, and even at like an 8 or something, he does not catch them. And he is the highest of the perceptions at the moment, I believe. So, though I don't know what it means, let's say that indeed this group is going to be seen by these 2 shady characters. So, did these shady characters my guess is that they are dock workers who are allied with these press gangers. So let's see if that's the case. So 1d12, let's say 5 or above. Yeah, so that's who they are. So that's pretty likely, I think. So we got 2 dock workers, 2 press gangers essentially. So here's an interesting question. So you got a woman, you got Tiny, and you got these 2. Is it possible that these two mistake that for these guys, Martin and Rorik? They dragged Tiny away. Do you think that they think Tiny is captured? Right? So they're going to see them. So Martin, Rorik, Tiny, and Tessa bustle out of there. Are they going to misconstrue the situation? So we'll give them a skill roll. I don't know what their skill is, but they at least need a plus, right? Oh, yeah. So, no, they're fine. They know Tiny's not captured. He seems to be going with them willingly. So they're really, really not sure what's going on. So I think they're going to report back to their boss, and maybe one of them will follow, and one reports back. So they are being followed. Game notes, episode 13. Hold on one second. So that's what we got. The group plans their attack. Lady Laurel appears. Ray gives them a letter. They send them off. They go, but they're being followed. That's where we are now. One of them is still following them. I think you're going to go straight for the dock. And I think they're going to use a little bit of sneak, right? Someone's going to sneak along the dock, load them up into a rowboat, and they're just going to steal a damn boat and go. Martin is Rorik is a sneaker, as is Tessa. So they end up at the docks, right? So they end up at the docks. And they're probably like because there's no large ships here, right? There's some boats, some ferries that traverse the lake, and there's a bunch of fishermen boats that go on the lake, and then there's a bunch of shallow draft boats that go up and down the river. There's probably a rowboat or two, in a shack or in a shed or on the docks or sitting in the water tied up. Is this how well guarded or it's the middle of the night now, so they are actually in the night. So what do we have in terms of sort of guard slash watchfulness on this? Oh, negative, none, hardly any at all. What's the weather like? Not great. So it's a misty. The weather is getting warmer, but but this is like a misty and sort of a not even muggy, but just there's a cold mist in the air tonight. So it does reduce visibility. That's going to suck for them on the damn water, but we'll see how that goes. But it does help them here. So there's not a lot. There might be maybe a guard or two patrolling the dock, but they might have fallen asleep or something with that -11. So it is literally as unwatchful as possible. So along with the mist and the chill in the air, and they're going to easily make like a stealth check to the dock, and we will make them. They'll both can make them, but we'll give them fairly good pluses here. We'll say that the sneak chance is like a 6, given the lax security at the dock. So the difficulty. So let's roll for Rorik and Tessa. Both of them are going to make that terrible sneak chance there. Or not a terrible sneak chance, but the other way around. And they can get to a boat and untie the boat. In the meantime, I'm going to let Martin roll his perception, his investigate, and see if he notices they're being watched. He does not either. So whoever's watching them will probably end up trying to follow them to the island, maybe. But they're also going to have to sneak to get a boat since they're going to technically be stealing a boat also. So Rourke and Tessa wave us forward, Martin and Tiny, and so we lumber forward. And yeah, the guard, the watchman that actually walks these docks, yeah, Tiny's like, he's nowhere in sight. Sometimes he's an older guy. Sometimes he falls asleep. I mean, and so the group is thankful for that. But now they are rowing off into the dark, misty, and low visibility night. Oh gosh. Okay. So they're on the water now, slogging on the lake, which I did not get a lake picture. Hold on. So obviously the lake isn't this crowded. but but it is hazy like that, right? It is, the visibility is not great. So they're going to row out. Tessa is going to remember, since she has come from there to here. She has a 10. I'm going to let her roll her skill, her knowledge of Salem. Against that DL, and then we'll roll for a mishap. So 6. So she actually succeeds on a 16. She is absolutely going to know where this thing is, right? She's like, no, it's burned in my memory. If we, right? So we head from the docks to, to the east, blah blah blah. And so she vaguely knows where it is, maybe with relation to lights on the shore. Right? Oh, there's the watchtower. I remember it being, this direction. So she can do that. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is on a roll of a 1 to 4, they may have a problem anyway. Because it's still, because they did not intend to go out at this time of night. They intend to go out in the day. In the day, that would have been enough. That 16 roll versus whatever, like a DL 12, actually it's a 19. She rolled a 19 total versus a DL 12 plus 3, 15. So she made it by 4. So that's good. But we get a 12, so no mishap either. Okay. And I'm going to roll another D12 just to give me a clock facing, because again, this is an inexact science for us. We come at a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we come in at 5 o'clock. So here's why. So here's the island. Now this is not a big island, so don't take this as this is not miles across. This is probably at most 3 football fields across, really. What tips them off is just as the city is sort of a little bit out of sight due to whatever other islands or rocky bits, they see lights here. So there is something here. Now they cover their light, probably. If they have one, they cover it. They probably have a lamp or something. We'll give them that much. We'll give Tessa, she was carrying the lamp. I've also distributed vials to everybody. Tessa gets an acid and an ice vial. She has weapon throw and lockpick in addition to a couple of the skills I gave her before. Tiny has a tiny bit of skills, so to speak. I mean, I didn't full upright them on as PCs yet, or if ever. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do here. We'll figure it out. We will definitely figure it out after this adventure is over. But for now, they have enough that they can stand alongside the characters. Um, but since Tessa has throw, I gave her an acid vial and an ice vial, and that's sort of one of the things I think we would want to do would be to double team someone, throw at them, and sort of try to quickly cap them with ice. Or I mean, this is probably enough to just blow the wad of alchemy there. So what do you think? Do they go to so there's lights on at the dock. So that's the dock. That's where she stole her boat when she escaped from there some whatever months ago or something, right? So does the group go there? Does the group go to the lights? That would almost immediately mean an encounter. Do they try to pull up on the beach? Do they try to find another landing spot? I think if they try to go around and find another landing spot, they can do that. But I think you immediately have to roll again for a mishap because, again, they're not. If they were sailors, this isn't a problem. But no one has profession sailing or anything, Rickman or anything that indicates they're a boatman of any kind. So I think, unfortunately, that they've come at the island from the south. So they came from 5 o'clock, right? So 3, 4, 5, as opposed to 6. So they can pull the boat up somewhere here. I'm going to give the dudes on shore. Did they happen to spot our character's light? It's a low chance. I'm going to give them a low chance. We'll say their perception is something close to 8. The DL will be maybe something close to 12. They'd have to roll 4 up. No. So they did not succeed. So we are going to, as long as we do not come right up on them, the party will be at least unseen for the moment. Can the party tell how many folks are there? So we're going to give Rorik a shot here. 10 to 12, 10 versus 12. No, he cannot see what's going on there either. And so it's probably just safer to pull the boat up somewhere like here. Done. So they do make landfall some. So let's see. Let's say each of these is something like 15-ish meters, maybe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're talking 100, 75, 80 meters up the beach. They pull in under the cover of darkness. We don't know how many folks are there. Do we want to sneak up and see? Yeah, I think we're going to send Rorik. Let's send Rorik up. I'm sorry, I just screamed at the mic. Let's send Rorik up. So Rorik's going to sneak up. Right, so he's going to... I need an R. I don't know what I just did. What did I just do? Ah! I think I hit Control R. That is not okay. I'll be back. All right, we're back from that little mishap. I mean, the funny part is I could literally just get Rourke's token and put it here. So this is unnecessary. Rourke is going to sneak up to the dock, and he's going to look and see if these guys, if he can pick out who is here, how many folks are here, and so he's going to roll a sneak check, and he does not do great. His sneak is 12 though, so he does have the cover of darkness. So what are the bad guys going to do? Do I want to re-roll? I suppose is a question. And there, my old man twitch. So I apologize there. That was not a roll. So he succeeds on a 9. Ugh. I mean, versus whatever their passive perceptions are. We said 8. So they got a 12. He has a 13. So strangely enough, he succeeds on this, even though not by a whole ton. So we're just going to go with that. We're going to let him get up there since they have a crappy perception. So he is up like by where the dogs are. And so there's a little shed up here. You know, a shack with some bits and tools, and probably they sit in there as well to keep out of the weather. How many guys are down here? There are actually 3 guys down here. What are they doing? So let's say they could be repairing something, right? So they could be doing some kind of repair. They could be unloading someone. Maybe there's a new what do you want to say? A new captive or new captives. So they could be unloading someone there. They could be unloading someone to go the other way, to leave, which would be bad because that could be our guy. So they could be repairing. They could be unloading a captive. They could be loading a captive. It could be Z. In fact, it would be likely to be Z. They could be on guard duty, just plain old, just guarding because things are, right, so crazy. Is there anything else? And then we'll put I don't know. So we're going to say I'm going to say 1 through 4. 5, 6, they got someone new. 7, 8. 9 through 11, and then 12 we'll do the whole, oh crap, we got to figure something else out. Okay, so let's roll a d12. 12. Damn it. Oh, that's the best. That's the best. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we don't know what they were doing. So there you go. We're not quite sure what they were doing. Oh, it's a drop shadow. That's great. I just actually wanted I wanted to make this. That would be the way to go, right? To make this opaque. That would be nice. A text box instead of just text. But the drop shadow actually weirdly works, so the outline works a little bit. So we rolled a 12. So we actually don't know what they're doing here. So Rorik heads up, and he is there's three of them, and they have a boat, right? So there are two boats here. Two again wide bottomed, shallow draft boats, and they actually have maybe there's a reasonably nice one. So maybe one's just a rowboat, but the other one is how nice. If I say nice, what does that mean? How nice? How nice? Um, we'll roll a d12 again. No, it's not. It's fine. It's just regular. It's mundane. So nothing cool. So there's two rowboats here effectively. And they are looking to the lake. So they're actually looking to the lake. But the reason they didn't see the party was that the party was, coming from the wrong direction. They are actually looking to the southwest here. So they're looking in this direction, right? Like that. And the party came in from the wrong way. Done. So that's easy enough. And so that's sort of where we're at. That's the and they're not sure what they're doing, but they have like a lantern up, and almost like maybe they are signaling somewhere. They're waiting, they're looking, and they're flashing the lantern, and they are looking for a signal of some sort. Or they are signaling someone else. He doesn't know what. Rurik can't see anything else. Well, does he? Roll a 1d12 again. Let's do a quick check. On a super high number, let's say double digits or better, there's something out there. No, there's nothing out there at the moment. The press gangers are signaling to the lake and not getting any response at the moment. Rourke returns, so the party sort of has their little discussion, and the question is, do they want to jump them? The danger is that the danger is if you leave them behind, then you might have your captive, and you're going to be barreling down the path here because they can see the path. You're going to be coming down the path with your captive, and then you got to deal with these guys when there's pursuit. If you take these guys out, you could sabotage the boats, take these guys out, sabotage the boats, get away. These guys and your pursuers have no way of them following you quickly. So I think that is set. They decide to try to sneak up again as best they can. And get the better of these guys. All right, let's get a combat up here. Oops, I put the caption up. What I really need to do is pause. I'll be back in a second. All right, so I've sketched out sort of what I think the fight looks like. And here we are. So here's the beach. It's a little white. I do apologize. Here's the beach. White sands. It's like the Siesta Key. The group behind maybe some rocks or something up where, we're up at the dune where the beach, there's a couple buildings, 2 docks, and a couple boats. There's 3 of them down here. One's on the beach, one is on the dock signaling, one is looking for signals, right? The other is, doing whatever, hanging out. I tried to randomize their position a tiny bit. And so I think that, so they could rearrange here. So I'd put Rorik. So our options are to risk stealth checks for Rorik and Tessa to get close. Martin and Tiny cannot get close. There's just no way for them to be close at this juncture because they have no stealth. So there's no chance in them sneaking up. They're good here, and they can reposition pretty much anywhere behind this rock, I think. I'm going to let them sort of this line, as it were. But Rorik and Tessa could literally go up and get the drop on this one guy, like if they indeed did right away, chose to do so. If they can make a stealth check. Now, we already determined these guys aren't super great with their perception. They probably have like an 8 or so. Rorik does have a good chance. Tessa has a decent chance also of probably getting the drop on one of them. But if you fail, then, you give up all that. And you might have 2 people sort of stuck out there with the enemy. So I do say we go for it anyway because, what the heck. So Rorik and Tessa are going to slowly sneak their way up. Martin and Tiny will be effectively as close as they can be. So this line here, right, without giving up the ghost. And then these 2 are going to sneak up. So they have to make DL8 stealth checks to get to here, pretty much, and catch this press ganger unawares. Unfortunately, 2 skill rolls. That's a good one. That's a good one. So Rorik and Tessa creep up. And I think they're going to get like 1 surprise round on Charles here. I don't know what his name is, but let's call it. We need to put his thing below overlapping. So they leap out. This is round 1. It's the surprise round. Rorik and Tessa jump this guy. I absolutely did not expect a fight at this point. But, that's cool. Let me pull the combat doc up. So these guys, when this guy, when he defends, will be defending at a -2 penalty. Tessa will go first and try to slip a knife into this guy super quick. She has so let's see what she's got here. She's not like a super combatant. She is okay. She has a knife of 10, but the knife, this is not like a combat knife or a dagger or whatever. It takes a -1 accuracy, so it is 9. She's a 9. So this guy is going to be defensive 7. These guys are actually decent attackers. They can press the party, but their defense is a 9. Probably because they're using some kind of weapon that's a -1 kind of thing. But she is going to take that shot. So she is a 9 to 7. And keep in mind that that they're still at a -2. So Rourke's going to attack against a 5 because they take a -2 to their defense generally. So she's going to get a pretty good shot here, and she is going to hit. So she absolutely hits him. She does do 2d6, and I did not make macros for them. Wow, I am not ready for this. I'm going to pause. All right, macros constructed. So Tessa is going to hit this press ganger. 8 damage in the 12. Now, I mean, we're going to put it in the chest. Sorry. So we should have rolled. Nah, I rolled the location's a d12, but again, on shots like this, I usually let people hit center of mass when they're doing the surprise, or because she has a knife, I do only body, so we only roll like a d8 or a d10. But I didn't do that for her thingy here. I should do that for her macro. So let me change her macro super quick. But again, it's just one of those where you go, but then you're going to forget that's in there. I'm just going to leave it for now. So she does 8 damage in the, we're going to say the 9. So 8 damage in the 9. These press gangers have no armor, so he's going to take 8 damage. So he's going to go down to 20. That is a wound because, and so it's a wound 10 in the chest. It's a 1-die wound in the chest. Oh, crap. Okay, well, bleed, impair, shock, winded 2. So she's going to do a bunch more damage. If you recall, we don't take winded against the NPCs because it's a pain in the butt to do. So there you go. So we're going to do 2d4 plus the shock of 1d6. So she's going to do a bunch of extra damage. 11 more damage. So she literally, I mean, she cuts the wind out of it. Like, I don't even know how to say it. Yeah, I mean, he does one of these. And he's bleeding and impaired. And so now he has bleed and impair on him. And then Rorik is going to hit him. And he's going to do, what do we got here? So we're hitting a 5. We're hitting a 5. Man, we should knock him out no matter what. We're gonna strong strike him. We're gonna strong strike him. Right? We have a tiny bit of advantage here. Strong strike's gonna be -2 to hit, +2 damage. Right? -2 to hit, +2 damage. So, oh, geez. He screws it up. He frickin' screws it up. Rorik, of all the characters, has either great luck or awful luck. So they have inspiration that I gave to them after their night. We're gonna knock off an inspiration and roll again. -6 still. That sucks because he's 11 to a 5. He would hit, except he did the stupid strong strike, so he actually misses. And so the guy, Rorik takes a mighty swing, but the guy has almost fallen back into Tessa's arm kind of thing, right? But unfortunately, that's not okay because now we actually do. First thing is, I suppose we have to roll initiative because if this press ganger gets to go, he's going to call out for certain. So I need the turn order up. Oh god, that's the worst. Of course, that's what happens. So add a turn. Oh, we have a couple Roriks. Let's not do that. Add a turn. Martin should not be F. Unfortunately, we need to give them numbers. So, okay, turn and turn. Okay, there we go. So we're going to roll initiative. Roll 1, 2, so 7d12. Oh, geez. We're going in order. Barton gets a +1. He has a 12. Rourke gets a +2. He has an 8. Tessa has a 13, I believe. Tiny's a 4. Pressganger 1 is a 12. We got a 3 and a 9. Tessa goes first. And so she is going to shank this guy again before he gets a chance, hopefully, to call out. So, and I will say, so Martin gets to go ahead of Pressganger because unless these guys are named lieutenants, the players do get to go first. Now, Martin's not going to matter. It really comes down to Rorik, who is really taken aback at his slowness here. So Tessa's going to try to do the deed here on this guy and finish him off. So he still is at a minus. He's at a minus still, and he's got impaired. She's not going to do it. She's not going to do anything special. She's going to shank him. That 2 is going to hit though. So he's at a minus, right? He's at a minus. He hasn't, because he has not yet. It's not flat-footed, but he was surprised, and so until he goes, he is still surprised. He will be unsurprised here in a minute. But she does shank him again. And she does 7 damage in the 7. That is still a wound. But it's a 4. So she does 7 more damage. He's down to 2 points. She does a wound in the chest again. That's a 4. It is prone and stumble. So we roll a d6 for him. We'll say Tessa is direction 1. He goes 3. So he goes 1, 2, 3. And he slams into this door, which I don't know. I don't think is open. 1 to 3 it's open just because it is. Or falls open. How's that? And he flops into. Now I'm going to say that alerts everyone, unfortunately. So yeah, there's not even a thing. Like everybody is now because he makes noise. Martin's going to go. He's like, oh, the gig is up, and he's going to sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or does he want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, mind you, he's at no defense at that point. Like his defense is crap. So Pressganger 1 bleeds, so he takes a point, and now he has to roll bleed. And his bleed goes up, so now his bleed is 2. So he is bleeding out absolutely no matter, like he is. In fact, because the next time he gets to act, so he will go out, right, and then expire. Because the next time he acts, he's done anyway. Pressganger 3 is like, what the hell? Oh shit. 1, 2, 3, draw a weapon. Draw his cudgel or his club or whatever. Rorik curses himself for his mistake effectively, because he really is the one who messed that up by doing the strong strike, because he would have probably knocked him out. Then they could have Deus Ex'd the whole thing. Like, ooh, stealth kill. That's not going to happen now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could charge. We could take a -2. We could charge. I could wait. You're just. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, Pressganger 2 could come up and charge. Can't charge Tessa. Tessa's too far away. Can't get to Martin. Could charge Rorik. Rorik's going to hold his action. So Rorik becomes essentially a 3. So Rorik is held. Tiny goes. He's going to sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's going to come up to here and be done with his action. Rorik waits, so he's now at 2. Pressganger 2 is going to draw and go 1, 2, 3. And that's going to lead Rorik to go 1, 2, 3, step to the edge of the docks, and take his shot. Rorik takes a shot. He gets a 0, so his 11 attack versus the 9 defense, he's going to hit Pressganger 2. Rorik does 6 damage to the leg, upper thigh kind of thing. That is not enough for a wound. 22 points. There we go. And that's the end of the round. So now it is round 2. And Tessa is first. Well, that's a great question. I mean, she's certainly not going to charge. She's going to face. That's a free action if it's your turn. And then she holds. Sort of got to hold here. And she'll probably go after Pressganger. Well, she's going to go here. Martin's going to go 1, 2, 3. And does he hold? I need so you can save half a phase. I'm gonna put the little half heart on him to show that he's saving half. And he's gonna go after Pressganger 3. So I think Martin is down to an 8. Oopsie, I don't know what I just did, but it's too bad. Tessa's gonna be an 8 as Pressganger 3 gets to go. 1, 2, 3. So he's gonna go 1, 2, 3. And he is not flanking because he didn't start in the flank. He started on this hex row. So he goes 1, 2, 3, like that. And he'll still face this way to make sure he's not. But he can attack Rory. Now, Tessa does have the option. So she can try to go before Pressganger 3 and interrupt him. But they need to make effectively a dueling initiative roll now. So this is Tessa +1. She has a 2. The other guy, I rolled 1d1. Now he got a 3. So he goes first. So Tessa is indeed after Pressganger 3. Done. He's going to attack Rorik. He is a 9. Rorik is an 11. Because Rorik's going to face because he was not flanked. -5, that is a miss. Tessa now goes. She's going to go step up 1, 2, 3 and slash at him with the knife. -3 is a miss. Martin. Doesn't want to go here because then he's going to be like low because this is right. This dock is above the. Martin's going to pull out the acid flask in his left hand, so he has a ready. Pulls it out of the satchel. He'll pull the acid flask out of his hand. Done, but he is done. And now Tiny goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He has a half move of 4 because his move is 7. We'll move his below overlapping. So Tiny is going to rush up and then take a crack at the Pressganger here. -6 will miss. Pressganger 2 is going to go against Rorik. This is Rorik's second defense. That's a miss. And then Rorik does get to go here. -2 is a hit on Pressganger 2, since there's 9 defense. Nine damage in the head, so that's 10 damage. It's not a concussion, but he does do 10 damage, knocking him down to 12 points. That is a wound, since it is more than the 7 necessary. It is a 2-die wound because it is, right? Because they need a 7. We did 10 damage. So that's 2 dice. That is 11 wound to the head. That's going to take him out. We just knock him out right here. That is stun 1, bleed 1, impair 1, shock 3. 12 more points. He falls into the sea. And that's the end of the round. It's round 3. Pressganger 3, oh geez, is gonna. God, he is done for. He's gonna morale check. He's gonna morale check. He's now looking at. Hmm. By the way, Martin's half phase is gone. It's going to take him some serious balls here to keep going. So let's roll a d12. If he rolls a 1 through 8, he surrenders immediately. 9 and 10, he will run for it, which is gonna suck because he's gonna take that's a dumb move, by the way. 11 and 12, he will fight to the end because he is loyal to the cause. He tries to run for it. So he's gonna go 1, 2, and then he's gonna bolt. 3, 4, 5, 6, right? They all get free attacks at a +2 to hit. So immediately they're all gonna go. Tessa's gonna go first. She is going to hit. She does 8 in the arm. That's a wound, a 7 wound in the arm. She does 8. I don't know what 7 in the arm does. Let's take a quick look. Weaken 1 barely matters at this point since he's not fighting anymore. Weaken is your damage is reduced. So he's weakened 1. So that's Tessa's free attack. Tiny goes next. Tiny is going to hit. Tiny does a d10, d6 -1, I believe. He does 7 to the 7. That is also a wound. And even 1 point of damage can save you from some wounds. That's a 6 in the chest. What does 6 in the chest look like? Bleed 1, impair 1. And finally, our guy Rorik's going to take a shot. Rorik is going to hit. 12 damage in the head. And that is a 2-die wound again. That's going to do an 11. So yeah, he's done. He's done. So he runs away and is just cut down. He'll have a point left, if that, because he'll take shock. So yeah, he's done. And the party quickly dispatched those 3 with surprise. So that is absolutely the case. So let's not be too and they're slightly better. Tiny and Rorik are better, but these guys I could easily land a shot on Martin or Tessa, but Martin wasn't even in the fight, and Tessa was always So it worked out. They got super advantageous there and fairly lucky. Rorik did lose an inspiration, which he failed to utilize anyway. They dispatched the press gangers and sabotaged the boats. But they're not going to just burn they don't burn the boats or whatever. But I do think the idea would be to make them have leaks and or be mostly unusable, but not obviously so right like this. So they will try to swamp the boats a little bit, right? Now they're oh god, no, and no one is. I don't think anyone's in a condition. I think those first 2 guys bled out. The last guy might have drowned. I don't know that there's any survivors of this fight. I don't think they left anyone alive. So before we wrap it up here, let's determine the fate of our tail, of the guy that's been following us, because he, I'm sure, is also in a boat. I'm going to roll just plus minus 1d12 minus 1d12. On a positive, it's good for him, and he will have avoided this mess. On a minus, it's bad for him, and he could have been there, or he could be rolling up right now. A 0. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to roll again. I need a positive or negative. I should have just rolled a 50-50 at that point, right? Negative. So to the Oracle, was he one of these guys? Or is he just coming up right now? Is he one of these guys? Yes or no? No. Is he coming up on the boat right now? No. Did he have a mishap in the dark? Yes. So he managed to, in the night, right? Maybe get his boat all scraped up somewhere. And let's get a clock direction that he approaches the island from 8. So he approaches it. So he ends up, our bad guy ends up down here, way at this tip of the island. He's probably alive or whatever, but has wrecked his boat effectively. And then had to swim up to shore. So when this fight occurs, he is just getting his butt to shore. So whether he will get there in time to actually make a difference or somewhere in time to make a difference remains to be seen. So that was episode 13. We made our way to the island. Had a fight, which I actually didn't expect to have at this point in time, but we did. And I think we're going to head up this path here. I think we're going to head up the path that leads up to where the shack is. But we will do that next episode. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope that you will like and subscribe and comment on this video. Tell me how you're liking the series so far. What do you want to see happen next? So we'll have to figure that out a little bit. I know some folks have said, hey, wouldn't it be nice, if the audience could participate? And I thought, yeah, that is a great idea. I just got to figure out how to manage that. So let's talk about it. I'll see y'all later. Thank you very much for supporting the channel.